Before we begin, just a quick disclaimer you might encounter strong language. Whoopsie! We also want to be clear that the things we say are our opinions and should no way be taken as medical, health, or dietary advice. We also are aware that we have certain privileged experiences and therefore we are not able to be representative and we don't even aim to be representative of all the things that people have lived and felt that we have not. I'm fat and I like to spread out wide. So,
I'm fat and I hate airplane seats. So,
I'm fat and I had a bed made with 6 legs once, so I could be comfy having athletic sex on it. So,
dedication. I'm fat and I'll stand for hours if the chairs are not comfortable. So,
I'm fat and I sometimes need an extension seatbelt. So,
I'm fat and the front seat of smaller cars just doesn't work. So,
welcome to Fatso, the podcast where we talk about the joys and sorrows of being fat women in India. Heavy on the joy. I'm Ameya.
and I'm Pallavi, and today we're going to talk about space, and not outer space, but the space that we occupy on this planet. For us as fat women, this is a bone of contention because spaces just aren't designed, keeping us in mind. Too small chairs, not leaving gaps between things, too small doors. Space is an area that causes a lot of stress.
Yeah, man, I can't walk past stuff without knocking shit around with my butt. I'm sorry. She needs her own room. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's only taken us 9 episodes to get here, but the moment is finally here. The moment we've all been waiting for.
I think we did this
Chairs.
podcast for it.
Yeah. Chairs. What the fuck is the deal with chairs? Like, what? Seriously, why is everyone obsessed with putting arms on chairs? Like, first of all, guys, your arms don't have to be resting all the time, right? And like 99% of the time, those chairs which need the armrest, you don't use the armrest. Like, why the fuck do you need an armrest on a dining table chair? Please explain this to me.
Because you can't put your elbows on the table.
You don't need to put your elbows on anything. Matlab, it's ridiculous, yeah? And you know, why is why? So, chairs with arms. First of all, huge fucking problem. If you're going to design a chair with arms, at least design a chair with arms that is not like 1.5 feet wide. 1 foot wide. No, but really, and forget that. The other thing that is so upsetting about design now is this whole modern minimalist design or whatever the fuck, where they have these idiotic chairs that's just it's like an armless chair and it's reasonably okay contoured and stuff, but it has 4 legs that all come out of the same point in the middle of the chair.
Good Lord.
Like a tripod. We're sitting on one of those right now, in fact. And the problem with those things is I'm terrified because if I just lean over a little bit, the whole thing tips over. This has happened to me. This is not just my overactive imagination. So how is it that you don't think about these things when you're doing a whole design and just is it really that hard to get a fucking normal chair in the world? It just blows my mind. You design a restaurant. Yeah, no one is saying all your chairs don't have to have arms, but have some chairs with no arms, no? And bar stools. What the fuck is with bar stools? Especially those bar stools that have that contoured little butt. But I'm like, one butt cheek is going to fit in that fucking contour. One, right? I can't sit in that chair because every time I sit in that chair, it's like, boop, it just pops me right out. And it's insane. I mean, my knees hurt, my feet hurt. Like, everything is like this entire exercise. And like, you have to have like 3 points of balance. Ek haath, 2 legs on other chairs. And you're like sort of holding yourself in there. It would be easier to stand, except I have flat feet and I can't. It hurts. And I'm like, why is it so hard to make chairs possible? Or like, I do not understand this. Or also cushions. Like, what is with cushions on sofas? There are people who have like 50 cushions. I'm like, bhai, I have 2 cushions on my bum. Can you please take away all the cushions?
I like cushions on sofas.
Well, I guess
Not
your
50.
cushions are not as good as mine. I don't know if you guys heard the snap.
Done?
Yeah.
Are you done? Listen, again, small rant.
It just means a better episode.
Yeah. Would you like to do a little more? Well, actually, I have a rant as
Okay.
well.
Ooh, yeah,
for the
I
first
know.
time,
Go,
right?
go.
Because it's that whole thing that when fat is not seen as something you can be, when fat itself is a rejection, who and why would anyone think about designing for fat people?
I mean, exactly. That's why it drives
है
us
ना?
crazy.
Of
Because
course.
it's like we don't exist in your world.
Exactly.
And this is what I call, it's like, I mean, people talk about hostile architecture when you have spikes on ledges and stuff so people can't sleep there, or, benches are always, again, arms on benches so that no one can sleep on the bench. But like, this is another kind of hostile architecture. It's like you can't find clothes, you can't find places to sit. Everything, every space around you tells you not to be here, don't be here, go home, hide in your big fat den of fatness, you fat slob. Like, what the fuck?
That had to happen. I'm so happy. So anyway, the thing is that, the fact that you have to go into a narrow space, it is threatening. That whole being closed in is threatening. There's claustrophobia, right? You may not be claustrophobic, but just because a space does not allow a person like you to exist over there, I mean, it's the same physical threat. Also, embarrassment. Like, I am a chronic apologizer. I have been a chronic apologizer. I'm constantly apologizing for the fact that I'm sitting right in front and I take up more space, or I'm sitting on the floor also and my bum takes up more space. I'm apologizing in airplanes. I'm apologizing in, just everywhere. But why? I mean...
And I mean, thin people will smack you on the head with a rucksack on a plane and they won't even say sorry.
No.
And here I am sucking everything in and sidling down the tiny little aisle by myself, scooch, so I don't bump into anybody, with my rucksack held over my head. But no, because we're fat people, we have to apologize for our very fucking existence.
Apologies in cinema halls, apologies at work, just about everywhere. And, oh my God, airplane bathrooms, for example.
Oh God.
Oof. Forget sex in an airplane bathroom, yeah? कभी-कभी तो मुझे लगता है कि सुसु भी नहीं कर पाऊंगी.
Because I've actually sat in an airplane bathroom and I was like, I literally had to, I was
Yes.
air chairing. I was air chairing because I couldn't sit on the pot because my butt was just wedged into that space. And then when I was living in Spain and I saw a couple of houses with bathrooms like this, and I'm just like, guys, it's not
I know.
able to sit on one
Either
butt
the
cheek.
door shuts or I'm in it. Like, which one? And then cars. I refuse to let a man pick me up the first time because until I see the kind of car he's driving, I refuse to sit in that car because he'll be bumping up against my thigh all the time. And, I'm not doing it on purpose, but I can't drink, and it's just so embarrassing. So it's just, I don't get it. I mean, I don't get it why the world needs to be this way, why they have to overlook this whole population. The other thing is about safety. The number of people who've said to me, tu to kidnap nahi hogi na, because you'll need a crane to kidnap you. I'm like, fuck. And no. And oh, come on, yaar. Rape to nahi hoga na tera. Because forget fat women are not attractive enough. Like, that counts. It's like, who will be able to move you around? Those people who do these crimes, think about it. The perpetrators, they think about it. They've got stuff that, if someone brandishes a knife or a gun at me, I'm as capable as a thin person to say, bhai, jo karna hai kar lo. Because, hey, I can't even run.
Yeah.
Plus I'm not confident of my body as it is. So just saying these things is so mean and horrific, Anyway, I'm like, okay. I did a rant.
Yay!
And last but not the least, when I get into a swimming pool, the whole pani doesn't go out of the bloody thing, yeah.
So I used to have a lot of issues with swimming pools myself and wearing a swimsuit because I was a kid when I started. I've been swimming since I was 6. And my mother, we used to buy Speedos from the US at that time. And because we swim properly, we don't do those little skirt things and all, right?
Yeah.
So we were just always swimmers. I was swimming to swim, to move my body and enjoy the exercise. It's still one of the few exercises I really love. But I've always had those high-cut thigh, fully fitted swimsuits.
Same here.
And then I got at the pool and I said, oh my God, I can't possibly go out, or I can't go on a beach holiday with my friends because I'll see my thighs. I'm like, Ameya, your thighs are under your clothes also now. When I was working at Penguin, there in our office was in Panchsheel, and Shahpujat was just starting to get interesting, and there was this Potbelly had just opened. It was 3rd floor. And the first time that a colleague and 2 colleagues went, they climbed up the fire escape on the outside and all, and we thought that was the only way to get there, and we're like, fuck, I'm never going there. But then we discovered there was a way to go. We went, all of us in a group. And one of my colleagues was also large, and he said, something about picking his chair, and he said, "Oh, I have collapsophobia," and I'm like, "Oh my god, you just put a name to like half my life." Because that's the thing. It's a joke. I say it as a joke and I make light of it, but I am really scared to put my weight on things. I mean, it's at a level of phobia, genuinely sometimes, because there may be no reason to think that a surface is rickety or it's anything like that, but I'm so tentative about it. I will always put my feet down carefully. Like one of my friends says, "You walk so silently." I'm like, actually, it's mainly because I don't want to put my foot through something. So I always put my foot down. So I always put my foot down slowly so that if it starts creaking, I can whip it off, and like save myself from that. But the thing is, the fear of this, it makes me not move, not jump, not dance, be careful about how I sit on a bed or on a chair. I mean, the shame I used to feel in Spain when I would go out with my friends, and everywhere we went, they had chairs with arms, and they were tiny little chairs, and I couldn't even fit, or maybe worse, I could barely squeeze myself in, and like I'd have like my thighs would be bulging out on either side of the arm of the chair for like 1-2 inches. And I would have these wheels. It would be like it would take 4 hours for that to return to normal, right? And then circulation would cut off. And then when I stand up, the chair would come with me. Or I would have to like ease myself out one butt cheek at a time. And, I didn't even know what was worse. That I wouldn't be able to fit. I would have all this like burning in shame, so much shame. And obviously it came from years of being teased about, "Oh, don't sit on that, it'll break. Ha 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 ha. Oh, don't sit on me, I'll break. Ha 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 ha."
Don't
Like,
climb into that tree house, it will break.
I did a play in college where we did this, and I had one line where I was supposed to be throwing attitude at this skinny boy, and this line is so horrific now when I look at it later. But the line was like, "Oi, chakka, shut up or I'll sit on you." Like, how many ways is that line problematic? But this is what we did, right? And it was funny because fat girl is saying this to skinny tall boy with long hair. Like, oh, so offensive. Anyway, this whole car thing, right? When I'm home and I'm sitting with my mom in the chota gadi and we're driving, her hand is always brushing my thigh when she changes gears, and she's always be like, "Smack, smack, move, move, move." I mean, she calls me Gundu out of love, and it is love, and it's not like a taunt or anything like that. But she's like, "Gundu, move," and I don't know how to tell her that I can't move any more than this except open the door and fall out of the car, right? So the last time I was there, I actually took a picture of the other side where my thigh is like where the door handle is buried 2 inches into my side, right? And I took a picture of that and I showed it to her. I said, "I can't move. Where do you want me to go?" She's like, "Oh, okay." Like, will it kill you to touch my leg, man? Like, but the other side of this is that I can't sit in the front seat of a cab. I mean, I also can't sit in the front seat of pretty much any small Maruti car because their seatbelts are too short. Which means I can't drive them also, because like my friend has an Alto and she's like, "Oh, you can borrow my car." I'm like, "Nope, because I can't wear the seatbelt."
And a lot of times you don't know when the driver is like purposely, hitting you with his like cabs
in a
and
cab.
stuff,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Because
yeah,
you
yeah,
can't
yeah.
shrink, no? All this makes you want to like shrink and like implode into yourself and like just die.
And it's like such a normal thing. Like, I mean, look at public transport. Right?
God help.
Public transport is like it's no one wants to sit next to you because like, "Oh my god, you'll like overflow into my life and then I'll die." I don't know what the fuck they're thinking. The way they look at you. And then they have all these molded chairs, right? All that molding does is basically I've got one ridge in one butt cheek bisecting it over there quietly. And then desks. Oh, I mean, fitting behind desks and tables is like such a pain. And those chairs with the built-in desks that we used to have in school and college and stuff, like, they would just not close over my stomach. Either I have to force it down, so there's like, again, a desk buried, like a board buried into my stomach for 3 inches.
You're telling
or
me.
I would just have it sitting on my lap at like a 75-degree angle and I can't use it as a desk.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, why are you doing this to us? What have we done? What have we done? What is our terrifying, horrific sin in this day and age when we have so much surplus? It's not even like we live in a time of scarcity. We have so much money, we have so many resources. We're devouring this planet to make thousands of t-shirts that look minorly different every day. Why is it impossible for us to be inclusive in the way that we design space?
Yeah.
Like, why is it so hard?
For me, it's like, apart from all of this, going into houseboats, going into camping sites which have those bamboo floors, because, you never know when it'll give way. I love swings, but I'm paranoid of the roof falling on my head, yeah? I've actually gone and researched Amazon swings now. That's the good thing. Like you say, where did you get it from? Then you research and it says so many kilos. And you're like, okay, I can sit on it. I mean, it's terrible. These bathrooms which have like the seat fitted on the wall?
Oh, God.
Right? So when we moved into one of our flats in 2010, we had these bathroom, like these
The pot,
WCs
the pot.
fall off the walls. Of course, it always fell off when I sat on it, but it was falling off the wall for the whole building because, there was seepage and blah, blah, blah. But I was so agonizingly embarrassed to call the plumber, because I thought it was me. And then he came and then he laughed and he says, Madam, aap chinta mat karo. Are, kyun WC girega? Koi bhi weight le sakta hai. It is because the whole building is faulty.
Yeah.
So a plumber, poor thing, like, amped up
you.
my self-confidence. But these kind of things, amusement park rides, my God, because I would feel I'm squashing the other person and you can't, like hold on to anything. Sometimes it's just throwing you all over the place. There are so many office trips that I've gone on. Like I remember going on this office trip and we had to trek a little and then there was this rock climbing. So we had to come down the surface of the rock. And I kept asking them, listen, this is how much I weigh. Is your equipment capable of supporting me? And they said, listen, it's capable of supporting like double, triple your weight. So just chill. And it was such a big deal that I came down the face of the rock. And I finally, halfway down, I had to yell at everybody saying, shut up. You don't have to give that much motivation to me. You didn't give it to everybody else, right? And then so many people saying after that, oh, because you did it, I did it. It's not that I have a problem being an inspiration to people. The problem I have is this whole thing that you're fat, so you can't do things which other normal people do in these kind of spaces, So that's the big issue for me. There was this healing workshop that I went to and I entered the room and this instructor, after a few minutes, gives this reference of how he was worried this chair in his home would break because how would it support my weight? And then he noticed that I was wearing stiletto heels because I used to wear stiletto heels.
You really did hate your body.
No, but I loved it and I loved the way it made my legs
I know,
and
but
butt
it's very
feel.
bad
And
for your body.
yeah, but I enjoyed wearing it. And I could, And he said, then I saw these stiletto heels she was wearing and I realized, oh my God, it's actually all about balance. And he went on to give us this whole spiel on how, my stiletto heels and chair, me fitting on a chair, helped him understand something about balance. I wanted to give him one slap. I instead paid for the... Fuck course. Elevators, babe. How many times has it happened that you get in first? You're right at the back of the elevator. Some 20 other thin people get onto the elevator and then it goes beep because it has a limit. Everyone's looking at you like you're the one causing that beep, yeah?
No, that doesn't happen to me. I think I just give off my DTC bus years have taught me this. Look at me funny and I will stab you with your own penis.
No, I've actually gotten those looks and gotten off elevators, much to my embarrassment. And now I just wait for it to be empty. I'm like, 2-3 times you come, I don't care. I'm not getting into an elevator where this situation will happen. Anyways, moving on.
It's funny, I'm just thinking about this and I'm like, in 2012 when I went to Colombia on my present to myself for my 30th birthday, I was slept in a hammock. And I was like, I've lived my whole life being terrified of being in hammocks, so toot jayega. But no, these are like these solid ass canvas hammocks. I still have 2. I just have nowhere to hang them here. But it's just amazing. My house in Vasankunj, it used to be hung up and I used to spend every Sunday in the winter sleeping in the sun in the hammock, right? And it was so like amazing. And now I think about it, I never thought twice. Because the thing is, they make double 2-person hammocks. So like 2 people sleep in the same hammock for like couples. So I'm like, oh, 2 log baith gaye to hum baith jata, right? Anyway, so the turning point for me actually came quite recently because when I was in Spain, which is only 3 years ago, right? I was out with a couple of really good friends and I kept saying, no, not this bar, no, not that bar. And my friend Rosalia, she's like, what the fuck, yaar? Just, what is this drama? And I was like, no, listen. I'm like, and I remember I was like dying of shame. Like my voice was barely coming out. And I was like staring down and I'm like, no, I can't fit in the chairs. And instead of, I was expecting, I don't know what I was expecting, but I certainly wasn't expecting what they did because they were just like, what the fuck? That's outrageous. How can they not have chairs that fit you? That's not cool. This is really stupid. And I was like, wow. I saw that they really supported me. They didn't mock me. They didn't laugh at me. They didn't dismiss me. Or think, God, I can't take this princess anywhere. Like she's just an added burden for going out. And it just made me feel so much stronger. And then, step by step, I've just reclaimed space. I've stopped apologizing for the fact that society refuses to adapt to my body and accept my body and make space for it in the world. I don't have to apologize for that. Society is the problem. Society is the dick, right? I fat spread, bitches. I'm like, yes, I have big butt. I will take full place. I will spread legs because my thighs are meeting, my knees don't meet. That's life. You can deal with it. And I look up places before I go there. I look for them and see if they have chairs that will work. And if they do, then I will go there and I'll be like, okay, listen, please get me a chair without arms, and because I'll never fit in this one. So just go get it. And I don't say it with a laugh. I don't say it with embarrassment, anything. I'm just like, yeah, it's a matter of fact thing. Yeah. Hey, get me a glass of water. Hey, get me a chair I can sit in. Simple. I mean, I complained in the office when the goddamn office chairs don't have room for my butt. It's a really powerful, heartening way to live.
Yeah.
And I really, really think it's. I'm so glad I came to it, even though it took me so long,
Yeah.
All those years of apologizing for taking up space, and now I'm like, no, I take up space. I take up exactly the amount of space that I need to take up. You got a problem with it? You can leave my space.
No, I completely agree with you. For me also, it's that whole, for everything I say, it's an inside job. And really, it's that inside job of realizing that you're okay as you are. And you don't have to apologize for who you are and what you are. And it's the same thing. If I'm uncomfortable, I just say I am uncomfortable. Or if I don't want to sit somewhere, I just say, no, sorry. And I'm not worried about that judgment, etc., etc. And it's really wonderful how I experience it, because now I have people, even men and women that I meet the first time, and they like all worried for me that, I want to make sure that you are sitting in a comfortable place. And they're the ones who are now staring down at the idiots who are,
it's so beautiful.
misbehaving. It's
when
beautiful.
Your friends come out and support you like that. Yeah.
Absolutely. And there are times when I have to say, koi nahi yaar, changa hai. Like, let it be and stuff.
I mean, my friends now do stuff like they wait for me to pick my seat first.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're like, you're the one who has the hardest time. And like, I get teased a lot for being very particular about that's my spot. And I'm like, guys, that's my spot because my butt fits there comfortably.
No, absolutely. Absolutely. And it's a wonderful experience in stark contrast to one Holi when I was 19, 20, when my whole bunch of friends went off to watch a movie without me because isko kaun gaadi mein fit karega. So anyways, what I'm trying to say, the contrast just shows that when you have that inside, shift, and when you're just claiming your space and saying, hey, I exist and I'm fine as I am, things around you also shift,
Yeah.
And it's a beautiful experience now.
Yeah.
So,
but I still have demons. I mean, collapsophobia is still my lifelong companion. Every time I have to climb onto one of those, those Jugaad staircases where like the shop is like half a floor up and they have those metal rusty ones. And every time I'm there, I'm just like, I can literally see my foot going right through and being like sliced by that rusty thing. And then I'm stuck there. Or like, I feel like I'm going to fall, and then how will someone pick me up? What will happen to me? Who will help me if anything goes wrong? Who will carry me down the stairs? Like if I faint in my house, even if people are there, how will they get me down the stairs?
Yeah.
They'll have to get a winch. And these are the things I think about. I'm really scared of sitting on other people's furniture, like people I know types. Restaurants and all can go fuck themselves. But like, okay, not go fuck themselves, like give us discounts. But I am genuinely scared when I go to someone's house and I sit down and every time I hear a creak, I just like freeze. And like top berths in trains, which I used to love because they're so convenient to just do your own thing. I can't fit up there. Sometimes I still worry about middle berths. But then I'm like, just roll with it, Maya. I mean, if it all comes down and we die, well, it's a good way to go.
Okay. But yeah, I mean, those functions that you go to, na shadi ke and all kinds of functions where they level the ground and then they put carpeting on top of it and they put these ramps. Oh my God, I'm mortified, man, because I'm like, what if they've not done the leveling? I have this history of twisting my ankles, twisting my knees, everything on these, like potholes in grass types, literally. So I'm mortified of that. Holidays. I think so much about a holiday. Will I get a hotel? What about when I go to the restaurant? Airplanes. I really want to make like shitloads of money or potloads of money. Let's not say anything shitty around money, but I want to make potloads of money so that I can travel business class and stay in luxury hotels for every holiday I go
Take
for.
me with you.
Of course I will.
I'm your mentor.
We should both
Dakshina.
earn potloads of money.
Dakshina. Hey guys, want to give us money?
Universe, are you listening to us?
Listeners, are you listening to us now?
So, all of these things, new places, all of these things just put me on high alert. And I really don't understand why I need to deal with this stress.
Society's a dick. What can I say? Well, as you know, we're not doing challenges right now. So if you have any questions for us, please send them to us. And Neurological Pallavi says, write down right now.
Neuroscience says,
Neuroscience Pallavi says,
if it's in your brain right now and you write the email right now, the action will happen. If you wait for it another day, the action may not happen. So if you are inspired, write to us right now.
Write to us right now. We are at Fatso Podcast, FATSOPODCAST on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, and gmail.com. Thank you very much for listening. We are almost at the end of this season, which is exciting and terrifying both at the same time.
You bet.
Today's episode was recorded at Mancha Media. Our music was made by Anand Sharma. Our photos were taken by Suraj Ajitakumar, and our logo was done by Yash. And as is always true now, the episode was edited by Ameya.
Amazing.
Amazing. Amazing. Bye, guys.
Bye.